Oh, I've been a little under the weather the last couple of days. This cold doesn't help, I don't think. I want to run through the babies. Obviously, there's not a lot to report just yet, but at the same time, especially with the week, this is the week we start pushing some of the ones that have been in for a while and, getting to know the other ones better. And I went with a few today. I've gone with quite a few this week. I don't have them all in order still. The horses we bought in Harrisburg, the horse that came from Ohio, two that we bought in Indiana, they're all separate. So I'm just going to run through them. So I'm going to run through the list we had. Then I'll run through the horses that we bought in Indiana and the horses that we had sent here. Those ones are on here too. What's that horse's name? So we'll start with Adrenaline Rush. This is a horse we had castrated last week. He looked great. Looked great but lazy. Great gait. He can really dance. I put him in gear a couple of times the other day, or last week when I went with him. I thought he was fine, but you shouldn't have to be asking at this point. So he's a Sunshine Beach. He's a Sunshine Beach. We castrated him last week. Yes, he is. We had Argento also. He would look good all week. He's looked good. There was one day he looked a little peggy on his left front, but Felix went and shot him, said he thought that the shoe was just bothering him a little bit. I've had no complaints from Argento the last week. Had a beautiful gait. This is a Donato Hanover colt. And Felix obviously is quite concerned when it comes to Argento because he owns a big chunk of them. But he's been doing everything right so far. Better's Hope, doing everything and pacing great now, looks great on the track. Braemar, this is a horse, he does have OCDs in his hind ankles, just a couple of little ones. We are going to take those out, but we have to work with his hind end. He's very unsure of himself, and he doesn't trust anyone, and he's a big boy, and if he wants to get angry, you don't want to be around. So Braemar, we're trying to work with those hind legs so we can, because after the operation you have to be able to bandage him up and keep him comfortable, and if he's kicking and acting up, he's more apt to hurt himself. So we want to get him used to those bandages and get him used to people working with him. Get him used to people working with him. But other than that, he looks great. Broadway Roll paces great on the track, looks good on the track. She's done everything right so far. Why are people calling me? She's done everything good so far. Cambridge Star, we added some toe weights and a little bit of weight to him. He's trotting perfectly now, looks great on the track. Can't Deny My Spirit. This horse done everything right. And I showed somebody who was at the barn today asking about him. I said, he's the only horse that when I went with him on the drone day that we had, felt like I could have trained him in 245. Like, he's just a beautiful horse. Does everything right. And for those of you out there selling shares of Can't Deny My Spirit for next to nothing, I don't really understand the logic in that. This is an Ohio-bred colt with a pretty good pedigree and trots as good or as fast as anybody on the property right now. Just a nice horse all around. Can't Muscle Me, another horse doing her work right. We haven't really just pushed these horses yet. We're a good, I would say the week before the open house, we'll be able to push them along. Maybe 2 weeks before the open house, we'll be able to push them along a little bit. But as of right now, they've just been jogging and putting work in. Can't Muscle Me is one of those horses. Captain's Maid, we have that hernia fixed now. She was acting up a little bit in the track last week, but today she was awesome. I went with her. She felt great on the track. Carry a Big Sticks has looked good. I saw Mario going with him and the next horse Cut the Line on the track yesterday. Both of them looked very, very good. The other problem we had was, as I said, there's no corks. So when the track's a little snowy and a little icy, you got to be careful. You don't want the horses slipping out there. So they've all gone easy all week, but they've done their work. Desperado, another horse we castrated. He's pacing fine on the track. I saw him the other day, looked great. Eternity Road's done everything right since day one. This is a horse that was a little timid. He wears that screen. He's scared of nothing except for horses. So it's a little odd. We're working with him, but he's getting better every week. First Glance, he really put on a lot of weight, and he looks great, this horse. Debbie's done a good job with him. He's literally fat right now. So I told her, I said, okay, you did good. Back off. So he's looking good on the track and looking good in the barn. Fox Valley Britska, another horse we castrated. This is the Whom Shall I Fear trotter. He's done everything right. I just didn't like every time I looked at him, he had his ears on his neck on the track, and there's no need for that. So we simply castrated him. Girls with swirls, Danny's hoarding her down there. He's hiding her from everybody. He loves this filly. She's done everything he's asked him to so far, or he's asked her to so far. So Danny's really, really smitten with girls with swirls. Gray is the new red. Terrible name, but she's done her work great since day one. My only concern with her, she got sick a couple of times. She had coughing and some mucus, so we backed off for a week and tried to let her catch up and regain her strength. She looks good now. GW Chrome, you know, quite a transformation of this colt from the time he was at the sale till right now. He looks good on the track. He's doing everything good. Very happy with what I've seen from GW Chrome. Same with Holy Chick, another filly, not a very expensive filly. She's done everything and trotted perfectly from day one. Eclair AM, James and I had quite a conversation about her yesterday. We were talking about the Southwind Franks, how I liked what I saw in Frilly Fringes so far, and James said, yeah, I mean, Eclair AM, she's something else. He said, honestly, it just feels like she could train right now. And some of these horses will begin training within the next 2 weeks. I would say on my birthday, for all you out there wondering, my birthday is December 1st. On my birthday, we'll usually move some of these horses along that week. Obviously not my birthday, but Eclair AM is definitely a horse on that list. I'm a Lovely Lady is on that list also. She does everything right. I'm Hill on Wheels. He continues to do everything right on the track. When we fluoroscoped him, he did have some issues, but they're not present on the track. I don't see them on the track. So full speed ahead with I'm Hill on Wheels. Keystone Raven, Mario really likes both the fillies, her and Cut the Line. She said this. He said this filly does her work very, very well. Got a nice gait. Not that surprising. This was excuse me. This was the well-bred filly, the Keystone family, the well-bred filly from View Car stables we bought the horse out of. And Keystone Raven, the Better Delight filly, she looks great. Let's roll on. Here's a horse that he was a little bumpy in his drone. He's forging. He's a big boy, and we're trying to get him away from it. I actually put the hobbles on him the other day, see if that gave him a little more confidence. We're just going to have to keep tinkering with his shoeing until we get it right. So as of right now, very strong. Let's roll on, strong enough to do his work, but we still got to work with him. Just he's very close to doing it right, and he will. He's just a real big boy trying to learn how to trot. Miss Meringue is coming around. She fluoroscoped perfectly when we took her over. No issues with her. She's trotting great on the track. Mama Knows Best has probably been one of the biggest surprises we've had. This was, I think, our most inexpensive yearling we purchased, and she is as good as any horse on the property right now. Beautiful gait, great attitude, loves to go out and compete with the other horses on a daily basis. Very happy with what I've seen from Mama Knows Best. Momo, Danny likes her. I asked him, she got a little, you know, she's fast, and she got her action up front. She's a little poker-legged on her right front. And I'd asked Danny, she okay? He said, no, she's awesome. She does her work good on the track. Very happy with her. I haven't sat behind her. I'm going to make it a point to go with her a couple of times this week, get a feel for Momo. My Jazz has always done her work right. One day I saw her, she was galloping on the track and didn't trot right. And I don't know what went on with her that day, but she's been great ever since. My Jazz, another one that's on that training list. She's ready to start going, but she should be too. She was here a month before these other horses. No Free Lunch, another horse. We have a castration list of about 8 or 9 horses, and at the very bottom of it is No Free Lunch with a question mark. We're going to be watching this guy carefully. This is a Royal Majesty colt. No reason to really leave him a stud at this point. Danny had said, you know, maybe we'll leave him alone, leave him for a bit. We'll see. We'll see how No Free Lunch progresses, but he's done everything right so far. Very, very happy with him. Northern Blizzard. Danny has begged me to castrate him. I guess he was acting up last week. Got a great gait, this horse. He's really put it all together. I just think he's being cocky. And I'm going to leave him for a little bit, but he is on a list of horses potentially to castrate. A horse that's no longer on that list right now is Perfect Record. Perfect Record has done everything we've asked him to do, and for, you know, horses can't smile, but if they could, he'd have a smile on his face. He just loves his work every day. Just a nice horse to be around. Very, very happy with everything I've seen from Perfect Record. Rose Run Wanda, we had that curb froze on her. She had that curb that was bothering her. We fixed that up. I believe she've started back jogging her. This week would actually do her some good. We didn't want to just throw her back into the swing of things. A week of strong jogging would really help her, and that's exactly what she got. Rose Run, why not? OCD in her hind ankle has to come out. That'll come out in the next 2 weeks. Certainly no concerns there. She's trotting nice on the track. The problem with those OCDs is that they sit at the back of the joint. Depending on where they're sitting, they can bother them at high speed. So you train down good, and then all of a sudden you're like, she's getting over on a shaft. She's getting on a line. At that point, it's too late. Take the OCD out, you miss the stake season at that point. So this is why it's so important to take them out right now. Roy Hill's definitely going to be castrated. This guy's just really sharp, he's feeling good, but switching his tail and being a little bully in the burn. Roy Hill is the Racing Hill colt, got a great gait, but we are going to have to make a little change with Roy Hill. Set the Mood, another horse. This guy's getting a little warm also. We were waiting for this though. This is the Heston Blue Chip. I love the Heston Blue Chips, but they can get into that high gear, and it's almost like they want it all the time, right? They want the speed, and you can't teach them anything when they're like that. So Set the Mood and another horse, Surreal Love, that's coming up in a moment. Both of those horses will also be castrated in the next 2 weeks. So Admirable, man, can she kick. She had a week of going easy, and I watched her go on the track today. Davey Boughton, many of you will remember, he worked with us last year. He helps us out in the winter times usually, and he was out jogging her, and she was kicking with the hobbles on. She's a bad little bugger sometimes, but when she's going, man, oh man, can she dance. Ooh, lunchtime. Thank you. Got lunch. It's my office right here. It's my office. My wife saw that I was home and was very gracious enough to bring me out some food, so I didn't drop dead right here. So Admiral has looked fantastic, but she can kick. Whoa. Sunshine in May. She's a little midget, but she's beating up on everybody. Nobody wants any part of this little filly right now. I hope she keeps it right through to the races and makes $1 million, because she deserves it. She got a great attitude, and all she can do on the track is pace, and she looks great doing it. As I said, Surreal Love, this is the horse. He's on the castration list also. Just hard to teach them when they're a little warm, right? And this guy's getting a little hot, and we're gonna lay up here. We're going to play the smart move, and we're going to castrate Surreal Love. Sweet Ambition, she was bad when we broke her for acting up and being a little bit of a brat on the track, but she's doing everything right now. I saw James on the track the other day with him. I said, is she behaving? He said, she's been great all week. So Sweet Ambitions looks great. Tanzanite Tricks, I saw her on the track day. She looked fine to me. No issues there. They did have fluoroscopes done with her and had OCDs removed before we bought her. So I don't see any issues with her. If anything comes up, we'll take her back over and get her looked at again. But I was really happy to see that they had already had that work done. The Fat Cobra, we did castrate the Fat Cobra 2 weeks ago. 10 days ago. He's back going now, looks great. No issues, fluoroscope clean, which is great news. Tipsy and Dixie, this little filly, Danny loves Tipsy and Dixie. All she does on the track is trot. She's a good looking filly. Really, really happy with what I've seen from her. What else do we got? Try to tease me. This filly's done everything right since the day we broke her, and nobody's ever sat behind and said, she does this wrong. You see her on the track, she looks like a 3-year-old. She just does her work great, and I'm very, very interested to see how she's going to start training. She's another one on that training list. Walk on the Moon's done everything great. Fluoroscope perfectly, no issues there. Very happy with Walk on the Moon. Warwee was up. He needed to be castrated. He was acting bad. Sometimes, too, when you get a dose of bad weather and you got to go easy with the horses all week, you start feeling a little sharp, start getting a little grabby and a little aggressive, and Warwee was up. They said he was getting real bad in the barn, so we castrated him. Warwee welcome in a tiny little curb crowd. Not a big deal there. This filly, she looks... I got to watch what I say. She looks very good. So Warwee welcome. Very, very happy with what I've seen from this filly all along. Well and Down, obviously, is doing things great also. She can kick sometimes, too. She's got a little streak in her, little filly. This is the... Well Said filly. Very good family, one of the sister to Eternal Cam Nation. Very interested to see how she's going to train down, because she likes her work, but she also likes to cause trouble. Now we'll start with the Harrisburg horses. Lincoln Hanover's going great. Both him and Off-Road Hanover have done everything right since day one. Stacy Hanover, I just come off the track with her an hour ago. She looks great on the track. Won My Heart. Hanover's a horse that I really, really like, and she was great. I didn't get to go with her today. I had something I had to do, but I went with her yesterday, and she looked very good. Saurus Blue Chip. This guy needs to be gelded. I know you guys are saying, geez, you're gelding a lot of horses. Well, we got a lot of studs, and Saurus Blue Chip, all he does is squeal and act up on the track, but when he's pacing, he looks great. He will definitely be getting castrated soon enough. Jazzy Judy, Didn't get to break Jazzy Judy yet. When the snow hit, she arrived from Harrisburg, from Delaware via Harrisburg, and beautiful filly. There's no races for her for 11 months, so there's no rush. We'll break her on Monday. Then we have our girl Frilly Fringes. Frilly Fringes looks good. Amy takes care of her. Amy loves her too. And she looks great on the track. I'm very eager to see how she's going to progress over the next few weeks. I want to see what she can do. She seems to be dialed in, a big, strong filly. Rito Sunshine's going good. He'll be on the training list soon. Beef and Cheddar is getting closer also. This is a Better Than Cheddar colt, the brother to Need Your Opinion. I haven't seen him on the track in a few days, but they tell me he's doing his work well and looking good. Now the horse Jody sent here, Royal Tyrone, Danny loves him. He said he can kick a little bit too. I haven't seen him kick. I've seen him on the track the other day, and he trots beautifully. This is a Royalty for Life colt. He'll go up on the site soon. I don't believe he is up there yet. Barbie's Crown, another filly that may not go up on the site for a bit. She's owned solely by Steve Palermo, and she looks very good on the track. Has done everything right. Hit a little curb. We had a crowd. No big deal there. Now Bob sent 3 horses over. We have Trafalgar's Brother by Up the Credit. We have Capistrano's Brother by Big Jim, and we have a Utopian's Brother by Better Than Cheddar. And Danny loves the Utopian Brother. Bob sent him here to break him, and then we were going to sell him. And Danny's done nothing but rave about this colt, so I guess we'll see what happens with him. The other 2, we're going to break them this week. They were a little aggressive the first day. They hadn't had a lot of handling, let's say, and very happy with what I've seen, how they progressed just from being in the barn. And you can tell how quickly they learn, especially the brother to Trafalgar. This horse was very, very green when we went to pick him up. He kicked me, and he was just very stupid and green, or he seemed stupid to me. But every time I walked in the barn last week, now he didn't have shoes on, so he couldn't jog him in the snow or the ice, right? And every time I walked in the barn, he'd just head over the gate. I couldn't catch him in the stall when I went to get him at the farm, but it's almost like he was watching what was going on. I went in 3 days later, and they had the harness on him, walking him up and down the shed row. And he's a very smart horse for him to be able to do that in such a short time. Jessie Balboa has arrived with That's My Girl. Both of them are getting shod. They'll start on Monday. Very happy with what I've seen from them. There was another Guccio colt arrive. His name's Italian Grit. You'll see him. He'll be broke on Monday and going also. So that is, I believe, all the babies. I was wrong. 2 haven't arrived yet. So as of now, we have 64 babies on site. Very happy with what I've seen at this time of the year. I'm looking to see, okay, who's going to be the problem horse? Is there any horses that we have to shed in January? Not from what I see. I see a lot of horses that are eager to do their work or do their work well and are trying to figure it out. No horrible attitudes to speak of for the most part, and no horses that just don't look good. These horses all exhibit some talent, different varying levels of talent, and hopefully that can grow and get polished up as we go through the winter. So that's all the babies. I'll be back in a minute. We'll talk about the 2-year-olds when they're back. Same list I gave you last week, really. Which ones have come back. There are some that are back. And we'll also go through the stables. Talk to you guys in a minute.